Hello, Jakarta and the world. This is White Trash Talking. I'm Doug Johnson, and I'll be talking to you about issues relating to Jakarta, the U.S., and the world. As a U.S. citizen now living in Jakarta, I touch on issues relating to the West and the East, the United States and Indonesia, and to the world events in general, because everything is related and interconnected. Hello, everyone. I'm at a loss as to what to say about Gaza. I'm 64 years old and have learned about and experienced many atrocities that the U.S. has committed, directly and indirectly, around the world. In fact, Gaza is not the first massacre the U.S. has supported. One example would be the 1965 genocide of 1 million Communist Party members in Indonesia. Other examples include the massacre of Native Americans and African slaves, plus wars in the Philippines, Guatemala, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, just to name a few. The U.S. has systematically murdered many millions of people. But the U.S. always hid behind the facade of goodness and the idea of spreading democracy as a cover for their previous massacres. The U.S. engaged in these killings secretly for fear the public would not tolerate such brutality and to maintain their false moral standing in the world. Maintaining secrecy in the past was much easier, of course. There were no personal computers, no cell phones, and no social media. Very little news escaped the editorial control of mainstream broadcasters. Today, however, we are witnessing an unprecedented massacre in real time. The U.S. and Israel have lost control of this narrative. The mask has been lifted. I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. A genocide, a Holocaust. To hear the screams and shrieks as whole neighborhoods explode into rubble. 1/3 of Gaza's homes have been destroyed, along with the water and sewage system, the healthcare system, the food distribution and storage systems. 1/2 of Gaza's population is displaced and homeless, over 1 million people. Well over 20,000 people, half of which are children, have died already. Many more will die soon of starvation and disease. Many small children are losing both parents and often their entire family, leaving them alone in the world. Some are waking up in makeshift hospitals with no legs to find that they are the sole survivor. One such girl, 13-year-old Dina Abu Mohsen, an amputee whose parents had just died, said that she wanted to be a doctor so that she could help other Gazan amputees learn to use prosthetics. The next day, the IDF shot a tank shell into her medical building, which, according to a doctor, struck her head and scattered her brains throughout the room. For at least a moment, we need to put ourselves in these children's shoes. How can their lives ever be normal again? The Israelis have never wanted a two-state solution. They want all of Palestine from the river to the sea. It has been a Likud party slogan since the 1950s, and they are saying this openly now. They want Gaza to be ethnically cleansed of all Arabs, and they are doing it now in front of the world, in front of us. Biden's government is openly supporting this Holocaust. Every missile and bomb, every rifle and bullet used by the IDF in Gaza and the West Bank come from the U.S. Biden is authorizing the shipment of arms to Israel and blocking UN resolutions to stop the slaughter. I repeat, the U.S. is committing genocide right now. The U.S. Holocaust is on record. Biden and his crew are war criminals. If we were truly a civilized, law-abiding society, Biden would be impeached immediately, arrested, tried, and imprisoned. The same, of course, would happen to Biden's counterpart, Netanyahu. The question is, are we a civilized society or not? Arrest Biden now. Thank you for listening. It's been Doug Johnson, White Trash Talking. Thank you for listening.